Now, there's a question, Sean, why don't I run Google Ads na lang kaysa sa mag-SEO kami kasi mas mahal ang SEO kaysa sa Google Ads? You're right, but Google Ads is like renting. The moment you stop paying Google, your search listing disappears. SEO is like owning. Even if you stop paying the SEO company, your rankings will stick. From April Ko, me and my friends have been planning to do business. We already have an idea, it's tech related, but there's three of us, are not really hardcore developers. We have some practice, but we don't have technical experience doing it. What's your take on outsourcing the work versus putting in the work yourselves, especially for us who are still working full time, so the time spent to do the work ourselves will take time? Very good question. Actually, a lot of people may be in the same boat. Here's the thing, April. If you don't make it a priority to put in time and effort to study development or understand development, madadaya ka. And that's the reality of things, because you don't understand it. You don't understand if the developers you outsourced or hired is actually stealing time already from you, and you're paying them and you're bleeding money. It may be okay, you may overlook it for a time, but long term, if you don't put in the effort to study and understand development, it's going to cost you a lot. So I'm not a developer, but thank God my brother is, and he's the COO of the company for 9 years now. But I do understand code. I studied IT, I graduated IT, sure, but they almost kicked me out because I failed 28 units in LaSalle studying IT. So it's not because I studied IT na intindihan ko ng code. It's actually more of I self-studied. That's why I understand code. So it is doable. It is possible to self-study and understand some parts of it. You don't need to understand everything, but you have to understand how the system works, how much time it takes to build something from scratch, how many available open source plugins are out there that will speed up the time of development. You have to know all of these things, because if not, again, madadaya ka, lugi ka long term. Pwede kang dayan, pwede kang lokohin. That's the downside of the services business. You cannot enter a services business not knowing anything about it. You have to know a lot about it actually for you to be successful at it. There will come a time when you want to hire in-house. Outsourcing is not a long-term game plan, because it gets more expensive, more and more expensive. So what you want to do is to make sure that you understand, because you're going to hire in-house if the business succeeds to a certain degree. So there's three of you, you're not hardcore, and you have full-time job. I think there should be someone who is managing the entire thing, who is at the helm, steering the ship, and making the big shot decisions. Because if you don't do that, no one is going to be the head of this startup. And any startup is very delicate. Kawawa siya pag naiwanan. So one of you has to always be there. Mahirap yung tatlo kayong may full-time job. Mahirap yun. One of the reasons why I had to quit my day job is because SEO Hacker was growing fast, but it hasn't really grown to a level na hindi ko na siya kontrolin pag may full-time job ako. Kaya pa naman, pero ayoko nang pilitin. I didn't want to make sure that I'm almost gonna burn out working a day job and doing SEO Hacker. So I quit my day job so I can focus on SEO Hacker, even if it did not demand my full-time attention yet, so that it would grow better, not just faster, but grow better. So one of you guys, one of the three of you has to do this and focus on the business. When you started SEO Hacker versus the stage the business is now, did your time spent working on the business become lesser, or you're still very hands-on? So this is our 10th year doing business, right? We started 2010. And there was a time where my time doing the legwork itself became less, because I have a team surrounding me, fantastic team, by the way. They're really good in what they do. And I have my leadership team as well, who are really good in leading the company. If I chose to just be invisible, I could have, and things would still work. They may not work as well or as smoothly, but they would still work. So I could actually relax a little bit. However, a couple of weeks ago, one of our people passed away due to COVID. And at a very young age as well, 24. I think last week I was able to say this already. And she was one of my SEO specialists. So what happened is I'm back in the fray doing SEO work, and I'm one of our people also have a problem. Her dad has a health problem, so I'm also doing social media marketing work, social media advertising work. So yeah, I'm very much into the business again right now, and actually that's one big reason why we're hiring, because we need more people to help out. But yeah, I'm seeing the things that need to be seen, the things that need to be fixed, because I'm working in the business right now again. But it's not because we scaled up wrong or we lack processes and systems. It's because of unforeseen events. No one wants people passing away suddenly, and no one wants people having their parents having health problems. So it's a series of unfortunate events, I would say, that working in the business and my time, being taken up once more. But aside from that, actually, it had been lesser and lesser because I was able to delegate more and trust people to do the work, and however they want to do it, it's up to them. Also, again, I have leaders who are fantastic in leading their own teams. And so they are very capable people. They can run the company. The company can run pretty much without me. So definitely the time I spend working in the business is less. Time spent working on the business, looking at where we can improve, systems we can create, processes we can improve on, or training my people in terms of leadership, doing workshops. That's what I did actually for the most part. So I do free workshops for my people, leadership workshops, management workshops, and they get it for free because I want them to improve as leaders, managers, and generally I want them to improve as a person holistically. We have a question from JC Del Rosario. JC, thanks for being here. What advice do you have for reaching B2B accounts now that our salespeople are not allowed to visit offices of our clients? What is the new go-to B2B sales strategy for the new normal? Well, I can only speak for what I know and what I practice, and that is really doing SEO. Maybe this is the first time I'm gonna say this, but maybe having platforms like what I'm doing now. There are people tuning in and watching and listening to this, and you guys know my business is B2B. It's digital marketing services, it's SEO services, making sure that people rank, manipulating search results for my clients. And I do get referrals. I do get good referrals actually from people who know that that's my business and who appreciate the information and the help I give doing this every night, because literally I get nothing from this from 8 to 9 p.m. every Thursdays. I don't get paid. I don't have sponsorships. That's why you don't see me advertising stuff here. This may be something that you might want to look into. Have a platform, diba? JC Opa del Rosario. So you start your own show. I don't know. There is something that God gave you, a talent that you can share with the world, and I'm sure that people will want to tune into and appreciate. And that may be something that you could start as early as right now. So you're young and you have the whole world ahead of you. You can start your own platform right now and see where it goes. So that could be one. Aside from that, definitely SEO, because people are still searching in Google. And I know one of my clients, it's actually his best year this year. Ironic, no? But they've been operating for a while. They've been B2B sila. They've been operating for a while. But this year, the pandemic year, is their best year. And their business is nothing related to PPEs or medical equipment. It's actually chemicals for industrial plants, mga planta. So it has nothing to do with PPEs or the virus or COVID, but it's their best year this year because they're ranking really well for their keywords. So I think that is one of the best strategies talaga. If you're ranking very well for your search terms, people are still searching. Purchasers are still using Google. So and you're ranking well as well. So I think that should be working for you. We have a question from M. We have a product and siya yung bread and butter ng company namin for 5 years now. Plan namin mag-expand. Magkano ba ang dapat na ilaan namin sa marketing? Ilang percent ba ng income ang ideal? My answer to that, M, and since I run a digital marketing company and I do marketing and advertising myself, I don't really put in a percentage of the budget. That's not how I do things. So I cannot tell you na you have to put like 10% or 20%. I'm sure if you Google it, may mga sinasabing best practices out there. But if you ask me, what I'm going to tell you is, if there is a campaign that you can run that would give you good returns on the investment in that marketing or advertising campaign, go for that. Especially if your 5 years pa lang in the market. Startup ka pa. Nasa startup phase ka pa. On your 6th, 7th, all the way to 10th year, you're scaling up. You're making sure that your processes, legal documents, accounting, everything's clean. Everything is systematized. That's the scale up phase. Right now, you're still at the tail end of the startup phase. So the marketing budget, in my opinion, has to be invested in things that would bring returns. I know it sounds biased because I own SEO Hacker, but really, if you're going to look at the return on investment, SEO is the best return on investment. Because if you advertise on Facebook or Instagram, these are people who are browsing kasi wala sila magawa. May oras sila. May oras tayo. Whenever we're on Facebook or Instagram, it's because we have time to kill. It's not because we have a mission or we're trying to complete a task. It's marami tayong oras. And okay lang sa atin magsayang ng oras sa Facebook or Instagram. So imagine if you run an ad there, however targeted it is. Kahit sabihin mong ang target ko, male, this age range, 30 to 40 or 30 to 50, and mahilig sa relos. But they're browsing just because they have time to kill. Compared to Google, people in Google are searching for something. They're laser focused. They have an intention to buy. They have an intention to spend. And so the difference in intent is huge when you're doing social media marketing versus when you're doing SEO. Now, there's a question, Sean, why don't I run Google Ads na lang kaysa sa mag-SEO kami kasi mas mahal ang SEO kaysa sa Google Ads? You're right, but Google Ads is like renting. The moment you stop paying Google, your search listing disappears. SEO is like owning. Even if you stop paying the SEO company, your rankings will stick. Also, with SEM, you know how it is, the millennial generation, all the way to the younger ones, Gen Z, we're ad blind. Kasama pala ako doon, millennial pala. We're ad blind. We don't like clicking ads. We don't like ads being on our faces. So when we see that it's a Google ad, we don't click it. I don't know. Ikaw ba, do you click Google ads? I don't know about you, but I don't click on Google ads. I click the first organic result because I know I'm not going to be sold something when I click on the organic result. But when I click on the paid result, I know that they're gonna sell me something because they're running ads. They're gonna want to make their money back, right? If we're talking ROI, SEO, definitely the best, if not one of the best. That's where I'm gonna put the money. So I'm not gonna tell you spend only 20% of your marketing budget or 30%. For me, invest in good SEO. If hindi nyo kayang mag-invest ngayon ng ganong klaseng money, then do it yourself. DIY nyo muna yung SEO nyo. There's so many resources out there for you to learn and do SEO yourself because you can do it yourself. I'm saying this and I own an SEO company. I started out doing it myself as a freelancer and then I built processes. And right now we're a 50-man team. We're handling around 50 plus clients and we're doing it because systematized na siya and my playbook works. But that's not to say that it's the only playbook out there. You can make your own playbook. There's a lot of ways to do SEO. My suggestion is do it ethically or the white hat method rather than the gray or black hat, which is unethical or a mix of ethical and unethical. That's the last question. I just want to thank you for being here and tuning in.